Hello, it is Serum, and I am back on Kerbal-Space program. And today, we are going to go rescue our 3 astronauts stranded on the moon. Um, Jebediah, Bilming, I don't remember his name, and I don't even remember the third guy. But they were the ones that I sent to the moon, successfully landed in episode 2 or 3 or 2. Yeah, it was 3, I believe. And then accidentally detached everything and trapped them there. But this is my ship, intergalactic ship, and we're getting it ready to go to the moon. And as you can see, there's a problem. It was too wobbly, so I had to remove a section, and now it's much more stable. But the moon lander for rescuing these guys couldn't fit on the top, so I had to move it to the side. But now it seems pretty stable. It does the job. The only problem I have is it's such a big, heavy ship, and there's only 3 of those nuclear engines, so it takes a long time to get anywhere to accelerate to do anything. But I finally get it out there, and I end up making an encounter with the moon. So everything's looking good. We're ready to go. It took me about 5 to 10 minutes to get that encounter with the moon. It took a long time. So we reached the moon, and I'm basically just getting it into an orbit. And it's, once again, takes a while, but we get into an orbit, and I need to bring the inclination down so that it, goes over those guys that are trapped on the moon there. So I'm kind of slowly working on that, but we get it. And I've shortened this down quite a bit because there's a lot to this one. So now I'm changing the fuel over to, because I need to fuel up this craft to rescue the guys. So I'm just transferring some fuel. And once I get it fueled up, we are ready to go. So now I'm going to disconnect, which I already have, and I'm switching over to docking so that I can move away from the ship safely. Yeah, once I got rid of that docking section of the ship, it became much more stable. It's unfortunate, I kind of wanted to keep that in there, but oh well. It makes the ship a little bit lighter, so now maybe, acceleration's a little bit better. So now we're starting to get into a landing pattern here, because I'm flying a jet. Trying to bring me down as straight as I can, because there they are down there. So I just want to drop in. Now, as you can see, I have all that fuel left. There's a reason for that. After several attempts, I realized that this thing just eats fuel way too quickly, and I don't have enough to even land on the moon. So I basically, and I apologize, I had to cheat and just give myself infinite fuel because I didn't want to have to go back and redesign everything, and it was just a big headache. So I kind of cheated on this one. So at this point, I just want to get him off the moon, so I just decided I wasn't going to go back and do all this over. Again, I apologize. So we're bringing it down. At least I know this design works for the most part. It doesn't have any landing legs, just flat. And it's going down now. Sorry about that. I had a thing from my son downstairs who needed something. So anyway, here we are. We've touched down. So now I'm going to drop down the ladder. This was an unmanned ship, if you didn't figure that out, because there's just enough room for 3 guys. So now we're going to start sending these guys over. We're going to send out the first guy. I couldn't see. I had the screen really small, so I couldn't see who it was. But so we're going to send him out. You can see it's about 1,000 meters away, so it's a bit of a walk. So I'm going to try to RCS them over. And it seems to be working, which is good. And I'm just checking here to make sure I got enough fuel. Alright. And we're back off. Woo! And I'm a little rusty. I'm not the best with using these jetpack things, the RCS packs. So I do all right with this one, but not all of them go as smoothly. So we got one guy down. Well, once I get him up that ladder. Hopefully this is in sync because I paused it to see what my son wanted. Alright, so now we're sending the next guy over. I know I saved Jebediah for last, so he's our last one to go over. He's the commander, so he's the last to leave. So we're heading to the mini lander 2. So this one I'm going full steam ahead, and I'm going a little fast. I try to slow down, but I'm not gonna do it. And boom, and he bounces around on his head. Yay! So I'm gonna use his face to slow down, which it's working all right. It's not the best brakes, but it does the job. So once he's done, he's up. So we'll just get him back into the ship. And he climbs the ladder. Every time I'm recording and I do the large screen, it works for a while, and then all of a sudden my screen goes blank and I have to shrink it back down to see what's going on. So I apologize if I get quiet. Okay, that was Bill, I think I just sent in there. Okay, here's Jebediah. So he's the last one. And this one, if you haven't seen the other videos, what happened with this capsule is I accidentally hit spacebar when I was ready to take off. And so I separated the command module from the rockets like right away as I was about to take off. So, and I didn't do a save, so I did do a save, but it was in orbit before I landed, and I tried to land it again and I couldn't. So I just basically decided to leave them there on the moon stranded. Alright, so Jebediah is the last one. He's made it safely, no problems. And he's going to climb up and take control of the mini lander 2. That module's full. That's the bottom one that holds 2, so he's going to the top one. Whoop, but he slipped. Okay, so things didn't go completely smoothly. That's okay, we'll just fly up. I think because the ladder won't let me go all the way up. He's okay. He's okay. Everything's fine. It's all working out. I planned that. That was exactly what I wanted to do. Alright, come on. Hop on in there, guy. Don't you want to go up? Back up? Get off the moon finally after a year? Alright, Jebediah is in the module. So now we're going to take off. See, I think I used those side engines. Those side engines just use up way too much fuel. I think it was a mistake using those. I'm going to actually scrap this one. Once I get them back to the ship, I'm just going to send this thing crashing into the moon because it's a useless lander. It was good for saving these guys, but just uses too much fuel. And it wasn't even that good for saving these guys because I had to cheat. So I couldn't get it into an orbit with the ship, so I'm just going to try to find a place where they meet up and fix my orbit then. And this takes me a little dinking around to actually get into a good orbit where I come close to an encounter with the Interplanetary One ship. But I'm working on it. Here we got 33 kilometers, 30 kilometers. I think I get down to around 23 kilometers and decide that I don't want to go any further out or else I might escape orbit. And then I realized that I'm going around. Plus I was afraid I might crash into the moon too, so I didn't want to risk it. But this gets me within 23 kilometers, which is enough to work on getting closer, which I do. I spared you all the boring stuff. I'll tell you, I'm getting kind of burned out on doing dockings because it just is a long process and it's tedious, and after doing it 20 times, it's just like, I've had enough. So I'm going to try to get this down to about 2 kilometers. I think I decided 2.2 is about as close as I want to get. And then eventually I work my way in. I'm 700 kilometers away. And now I'm just using RCS to work my way in. And conveniently I'm approaching from the direction I want to dock, so I don't have to do any whizzing around the ship and repositioning myself. And I'm just going to dock with that side port. Now, at one point I accidentally, when I was leaving, or undocking the first time to send this down to the moon, I accidentally hit my rockets, and I just nudged forward a little bit into this engine and blew up the entire, both ships, just incinerated them. So I want to make sure I don't accidentally do that again with everybody on board. Luckily I did a quick save, so I was able to go back and try it again. I won't lie, I don't do any of this on one try. I'm not that good. Alright, we're just about docked. It's kind of dancing around there. It's magnetized, but it's not quite clicking in. But we'll just give it a minute. And we're waiting. And we're waiting. And now it's just sitting there. I don't know what it's doing. So I'm thinking, alright, something's not right here. I gotta try something. So then I decide to just give it a little bit of a nudge with the RCS. After I wait a little bit longer just to make sure. Yeah, see, it's not going in. It's just balancing there. So I just kind of nudge it. I don't even use the RCS. I just use the SAS. And it works. So we're now docked. So now I want to move my crew members to the main ship, because I'm going to get rid of this lander. So I'm moving one of my guys out of the command pod, because I want Jebediah, since he's the most experienced of all these guys, I want him to be the commander of the ship. So I'm moving this guy down. He's been demoted. Well, and apparently the ladders aren't there, so... But I managed to grab back on and get him inside. So first we're going to get rid of... who am I going for? Okay, I'm going to send Jebediah up. I'm going to send him up to the captain's chair. Now, I think I cut out some of this, but it took me a little bit because the weird angle made it tricky for me to try to steer him into the ship, because the ship is kind of above him and to the front of him here, so I'm like having troubles getting used to the controls, because I want to fly forward when actually I need to fly up to get over to the ladder there, and I keep screwing it up. I think I cut out some of this because some of this took really long to get him over the ship. So after trying a little while, I get him onto the ladder and I just climb him up and I put him into the main part of the ship there. So now we're gonna send Bill out. So we send him over. I think I have a little bit more success with him. And he grabs on. And I just throw him in there because there's nobody in that module. And now the last guy, he's up macing. He's up on top, even though before he was down in the bottom part. I don't know what happened there, but he changed seats on me. So I get him over. Now again, this ladder's missing, so I think he floats a little bit. Yep, there we go, but I grab back on. And he's in. Alright, everybody is on board. I am Serum, and I will see you next time.